And when someone tells you who they are, believe them. So when Iran is shouting death to America, death to Israel, just believe them, take them at their word. I believe that they actually want to see America fall to their knees, and they call America the big Satan, they call Israel the little Satan. Now, I'm not even tying those two together. They want to see us dead. The not the people, the Ayatollahs.
There's a group of Americans who fail to accept or fail to understand and fail to ask questions. They are literally obsessed and believe their own bullshit. They have been fed these lies for so long and they believe it to the core. And one of them is this gentleman called Patrick Bet-David. And he went on and talked about how Iran is brainwashing. The leaders in Iran are busy brainwashing and indoctrinating people, teaching them to hate America. And this is all propaganda. And that's what they always do, right? Everybody in Russia is being fed propaganda. Everybody in China, the Communist Party is feeding people propaganda. But they forget to understand and sit back and ask themselves critical, important questions. Even themselves, they are also being fed their own propaganda by their own powers and their own media. I mean, it's absolutely not good to call other countries or a group of people like America is a Satan, Israel is a small Satan. In as much as that is terrible to call anybody or to wish death upon somebody, but the question that they fail to ask themselves over and over again is, why does the world hate the United States of America? That is the question that they fail to ask and fail to answer. If they could get to a point of being wise enough to sit back and ask themselves this question, why does the world hate us so bad? But because they listen to the propaganda and the lies that they are fed and they believe them and they think the rest of the world is crazy. I mean, China is mad because of the Communist Party is lying to people. This is a very evil regime, same as Russia, same as Iran, same as this. But they don't ask themselves this question to the point that maybe there's something wrong with ourselves. The reason why America is not liked, the imperial West is not liked by the rest of the world. From Asia to the Middle East to Africa, you can hear the sentiment is all over. It is all over. You can look for it everywhere in the on the internet. You can see that the people are fed up. The world is fed up because of America's actions, the Western imperial activities. The world is willing to stand up and fight against the Western imperialism. That is what is going on. But I understand as an maybe them as American citizens, it feels good or it feels great. But what they fail to understand is the people on the other side, the people on the receiving end of the activities of the war machine of the United States of America, the people who are losing their relatives, the people who are actually being affected by this, the countries that are being destroyed because of the imperialism and the war machine of the United States of America. Do you can you imagine how those people feel? That is why those people will hate your country and will pray for the demise of your country and the destruction of your country. And that's why those people pray for the falling of the empire of the United States of America. There's been a lot of people who came out of the system who have been working for the agencies and for the military in the United States of America, who have come out and spoken and said, this is absolutely wrong. This is absolutely ridiculous. These actions by our government or these actions by our military across the world is terrible. But they ignore those things because maybe those voices are far and in between. They ignore those voices. It's all over the internet. If you want to watch it, you can watch it, and if you want to listen, you can listen. But it's so easy and comfortable if it's far away, if it's not happening on you, if you are still driving your luxurious Porsche going home and back, you can just read it on the paper, be like, it's kind of terrible that what the CIA did here and there. But for the people who are on the receiving end, for the people who are being killed, for the people who are being destroyed, for the millions around the globe who are being displaced, for the millions around the world who are dying far end and at the receiving end of the American empire. This is terrible. That is why they hate America so badly.
And so I think the factors here that I'm recognizing is there's twofold at play, the Israeli influence in the Middle East and then also our military-industrial complex.
Perhaps you can link what your awakening was in terms of the American military not being what it says that it is, and your entering in earnest pro-Palestinian activism that you do so well today.
Yes.
Yes.
I come from a Republican background. In 2016, I was a supporter of Trump. My entire family was a supporter of Trump, over Hillary Clinton, of course. And as a Republican, one of the pillars that people do support and why they vote Republican is because of the defense budget. And so for my entire life, I always believed that it was necessary to have this defense budget, and this is why I always voted towards the right side of the aisle. I've noticed now that the reason we have this defense budget is not because we need to actually defend our borders. It's for us to be able to wage wars in other countries. And so this level of awakening tied back into my 17 years in the military and trying to recognize what I participated in, what my colleagues participated in, what people that I consider family and friends participated in who deployed to Iraq, who deployed to Afghanistan. And then I look at this and this awakening of how much my entire life has just been a lie. We don't need this defense budget to defend our country. We need this defense budget to fund the military-industrial complex and to wage war and death and destruction in other countries. Anyone that has this ability to look at this situation from the outside lens, from the bigger picture, from an international picture, we're watching BRICS grow. We're watching countries start to isolate America, start to isolate Israel. We're watching the global South align themselves together, both economically and security-wise. And what does that mean for my country? What does that mean for my children? What does that mean for my children's children in the future when we become such an isolated country that we fall as a global power? Because that's ultimately what's happening. The American empire is falling. And it's because we are providing this unwavering support towards Israel to expand and take over the resources and the land in the Middle East and control the Middle East, if you will.